Hi, this is John Mick, field agronomist for Pioneer, with an agronomy update on corn leaf aphids. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen corn leaf aphid numbers explode in some area cornfields. Here's a good example of that. Now, it's not uncommon to see corn leaf aphids build to alarming levels at this point in the year when natural predatory activity simply hasn't been effective. There are a couple reasons we're seeing this build up. First of all, predatory activity from other insects such as ladybugs, lacewings, and parasitic wasps has simply been pretty low for most of the summer. And here I have an example of what 2 ladybug larvae look like, crawling around on that corn leaf in search of corn leaf aphids. I also have an example here of some corn leaf aphid carcasses. Now, these have either been parasitized by molds that naturally hold aphids in check, or perhaps parasitic wasps. And on the backside here, you'll see a predatory ladybug larva crawling around. Now, in my experience, we've simply had lighter numbers of these predators all summer long, and the problem is obviously magnified in fields where we've used broad spectrum insecticides earlier in the summer, which killed off our beneficial insects. Now, a second factor playing into the aphid buildup is fungicide use. Growers should note that fungicide use to control pests like gray leaf spot has been linked to higher aphid populations because fungicides also reduce the activity of a pathogenic fungi which can attack these aphids. Corn leaf aphids do not overwinter in Nebraska. They must fly in from the south. The females will give birth to living young, and these do not have an egg stage. These larvae, or these juveniles, will grow very fast and reach adulthood in approximately 10 to 14 days, so multiple generations are very common. As they grow, corn leaf aphids will shed their exoskeleton, leaving behind a white carcass, which will lead you to believe they're dying off, when they are actually not. If you look very close at this, you can see the exoskeletons left by some of these corn leaf aphids. Don't be fooled into thinking these are dying off when in fact they're actually surviving and thriving. Now, on tasseled corn, aphids feed by sucking plant juices from the stalk and the leaves. This results in kernels being robbed of the sugars necessary for grain fill. If numbers get high enough, you can see shallower kernel depth and even some tipping back on the ear. Also, when aphids remove plant sugars, the plant will begin to cannibalize its reserves of stored energy from the stalk in an effort to maintain grain fill. This is the beginning of stalk rot. So producers need to watch fields for standability issues where corn leaf aphid feeding has been fairly high. As aphids feed, they excrete a sugary waste that accumulates on corn leaves, making fields very uncomfortable to walk. And that sugary excrement serves as a food source for saprophytic fungi, so you'll often see a black mold growing on the surface of corn leaves where aphid feeding has been high. This black mold can reduce photosynthetic efficiency of the plant. Now, treatment thresholds for corn leaf aphid feeding are not well established for corn in the grain filling stages. One reference recommends treating when you have 50% or more of the plants with more than 100 aphids per plant. Growth stage plays a key role in making this decision. I would be very hesitant to recommend treating with insecticide on corn that has advanced past an early starch line stage, except under the most extreme levels of pressure. On later maturing corn or later planted corn which has yet to develop a starch line, treatment can be pretty effective at preserving that late season kernel fill and maintaining stalk integrity. In this particular field, aphid pressure is pretty high, but we're in the 1/3 to 1/2 starch line stage, and the predator activity has been extremely high. So because of those two factors, growth stage and predator activity, I would not be treating this field. If you need more help making that decision, contact your local Pioneer sales rep. Now, growers should be aware of how fast predator activity can respond to aphid populations. We're now seeing a significant increase in the amount of ladybug larvae feeding in fields that are infested with aphids. Ladybug larvae will do an impressive amount of damage to corn leaf aphid colonies in a short amount of time. From your Pioneer Field Agronomy team, this has been John Mick. Thanks for watching, and have a safe week.